It is down to you, and it is down to me.
Let me explain.
There's nothing to explain. You're trying to keep me from grades that I am rightfully entitled to.
Perhaps you are ready for a real exam then?
Indeed, you're no match for my brains. I even wrote my own outline from scratch.
You're that smart.
Let me put it this way. Have you ever heard of Keith Cassidy Thompson?
Yes.
Morons.
Really? Then here's your exam. Read through, but do not start typing for 20 minutes. What you have in front of you is a Howell fact pattern. It's senseless, tasteless, and contains the most legal issues on 4 pages ever known to man. And consider Xenthia's argument with Joe Bloggs. The battle of wits has begun. It ends when you submit your exam and I mark it. Then we find out who gets an A and who does not.
But it's so simple. All I have to do is divine from what I know from doing every reading, including the optional text. Is this the sort of legal principle that relies on the majority decision or dissent? Now, a clever question would call for obiter from the dissent, because Howell would know that only a great fool would cite the obvious majority decision. I am not a great fool, so I can clearly not choose the majority's holding. But you must have known I was not a great fool. You would have counted on it, so I can clearly not choose the dissent.
You've made your decision then?
Not remotely, because Howell comes from New Zealand, and as everyone knows, New Zealand was first settled by Australians, which was entirely peopled with criminals, and criminals are used to deceiving people, as you clearly want to deceive me, so I can clearly not choose the ratio from the majority ruling.
You're stalling now.
You'd like to think that, wouldn't you? You know I've written my own outline, which means I have read everything, so it could be an answer, relying on principles of obiter dicta, trusting that I would miss something because of the sheer volume of readings. So I must clearly consider the obiter from this case and compare it to the future jurisprudence to see if it eventually became ratio. So clearly, I cannot choose the ratio of the majority in this case unless it is carried forward into the Canadian common law. But you've also awarded good grades to students who had used Keith's outline in the past, students who have not studied, and in not studying, they would have disregarded the obiter and known only the holding of the majority, so I can clearly not choose the principles from the dissent.
You're trying to trick me into giving something away. It won't work.
It has worked! You've given everything away! I know what the relevant case law is!
Then make your choice.
I will, and I choose... What in the world could that be?
What? Where? I don't see anything.
Well, I could have sworn I saw something. No matter.
What's so funny?
I'll tell you in a minute. First, let me submit this.
You guessed wrong.
You only think I guessed wrong. That's what's so funny. I copied in a canned answer when you were distracted. Ha ha, you fool! You fell victim to one of the classic blunders. The most famous is never get involved in a land war in Asia, and only slightly less well known is this. Never go up against a valedictorian when grades are on the line. Ha 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 ha!
Who are you?
I'm no one to be trifled with. That's all you ever need to know.
And to think, all that time the answer is found in the dissent, not the majority.
They were both wrong. I spent the last few years of building up immunity to overly ambitious law students. It no longer matters what they write at all. Everyone gets a B-.